Hey guys, welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. Today I want to show you what I plan on planting in my 2024 garden. I can't believe we are already at that time of year. It's so exciting. So we are at the beginning of February. Groundhog Day just passed, and the groundhog, I believe he didn't see his shadow. So that means we are going to have an early spring. So that means I'm getting my seeds out. I mean, I've already started my seeds. I show you guys usually on my weekly videos, give you guys an update. Don't mind the grow lights, but here we have our onion starts, and I'll show you what onion varieties we are growing this year. We have our artichokes, and then we have some blackberry branches that I'm trying to propagate and see if I can get them to sprout, or if I can get them to root. That way I can get more blackberry plants. I thought I would sit down with you guys today and show you what I plan on growing in my garden. I love doing these videos, love them, because I get to talk about my garden and I get to talk about all the different varieties that we're gonna attempt to grow this year. It's so exciting. So I think what I'm gonna do, because this is how I keep my seed packets. I have these really cool containers that I actually picked up from, I think this one was from Amazon. And then these two I actually picked up at Hobby Lobby. And what they look like is inside them, inside them they have these little cases. This is like photo storage cases. And so I have them all categorized. So this particular box right here, this is all my spring, fall stuff. So cool weather crops. And then this is just a box of beans because I don't have enough space. I need to get another one of these. This box right here is all my summer crops, and then this one is herbs and flowers. So this is definitely going to be a sit down video, one where you can just kind of relax, put your headphones in, you know, chill out, have a tea. That is going to be this style. I'm not going to be doing any cooking today. It is just a sit down video, which again, I kind of like doing because we did a lot of stuff in the kitchen the past couple of weeks. And I've been doing a lot of cooking with the pantry challenge. Not that I don't normally cook, but anyways, it's a sit down video. So what I've done earlier was I actually planned out, I kind of went through my seeds already and kind of planned out what I'm hoping to grow. Now this list will very much change, especially once the Amish greenhouses open up. I tend to start going there, and then even though I don't really technically need something, I see new varieties and I'm like, I'll just buy one of these and maybe one of these. And then I end up coming home with a thing full of plant starts that I didn't originally have written down. So that's just how it works. So I'll tell you what I'm planning on doing loosely. Again, it will definitely change. And I'm gonna bring you guys along with the whole gardening stuff this year. It's not as popular as my cooking videos or my canning videos, but I still want to be able to share that with you because I love gardening. That's where I get a lot of my food from, is from my garden. I don't have a huge garden. I garden in zone 7B. I am in South Central Kentucky, right on the Tennessee border. So that's where my zone is. So if you're looking for similar advice, I'm in 7B. I think they just changed it to. I think I was 7A before. Maybe I was 6B. I don't know. I think I'm 7B. I have no clue. I just am planting what I have historically planted before, and that does well for me in my area. Every year I try to add 2 more things new to my garden that I haven't tried before because I love experimenting with new things. So on last week's video, I showed you guys what we were seed starting, and one of the things that I'm experimenting this year is this variety. Now I picked this up a couple years ago from Baker's Creek, just their seed store in Petaluma. And what it's described as is a unique fruit. In 1760, it was called the Nectar of Gods. It's a 2-inch fruit, round, yellow, orange in color, and perfect for making delicious, sweet, tart juice. So I'm thinking it's going to be very similar to kind of like a citrus plant, kind of, not quite like an orange, but it's going to be a tart plant. It says I needed to start it 24 weeks before my last frost. So it is really not frost hardy. It does well in states like, I would say probably like zone 9. So this is a gamble by me trying this. I'm hoping it does okay. I asked the lady in the seed store about this particular thing. I told her where I lived and she said she wasn't quite sure. She said you may have to end up bringing that plant in the winter because it might not produce by the time you get it outside and transplanted. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'll put these in pots and then that way I can bring them inside and hopefully it'll work. Okay, so the onion varieties that I just showed you over there that we are growing, I'm growing 3 different onion varieties. Onions go according to 3 different areas. You have short-term grow days, which is actually below. So those are most of the southern states like Texas, all down below the southern states. That is called a short day variety. Then you have us in the middle. We are considered an intermediate day variety. And then you have the northerners, which are all long day variety. I am very jealous of the northerners because they can grow the most amazing onions, and we get a lot of humidity here, so our onions don't always turn out the best. But we're gonna try these varieties. Some of them are short day and some of them are intermediate. I'm just double checking this one to see if it says anything here. This one doesn't say what it is as far as intermediate. This is the white variety that we're gonna grow. Actually, it says it's day neutral. I just wrote it on the back here. It's day neutral, so this means pretty much it can grow in any zone. So we're gonna try this white variety, and then we are going to try this. This is a short day variety. This is gonna be our yellow onion. Hopefully it works okay. And then this is the red variety, and this is an intermediate day one. So those are the 3 we're gonna try. I find that the white and the red don't store as long as the yellow. So I didn't start as many of these as I did the yellow because these ones tend to be the best storage onion for me. So those are our onion varieties that we're gonna do. And like I said, I already got those started. So we are going to start with our spring stuff. This is gonna be probably a really, really long video, and hopefully my battery doesn't die. It probably will die at least once, but it's gonna be a long video, so stay tuned. You can skip over some of the stuff if you don't really necessarily care about some of it, but we're in spring now, so spring varieties. I am very, I guess the word is OCD type A personality. I have everything in alphabetical order in my seed thing. I wanted to actually show you guys the artichokes that we're growing. So this is a variety of artichokes that we have started. These ones, it says that you have to start 12 weeks before your last frost date, right? First frost date is in the fall. Last frost date is in the spring. So these ones you have to start 12 weeks before your last frost date. So we got these started. They're doing really good. They're supposed to be okay in our area, hopefully. I've never had much success growing artichokes, so this year I'm gonna put an effort into it. And then we have a couple of asparagus beds outside. And this is the variety that we have planted outside. I planted them 5 years ago, so this year we will definitely be able to harvest off of our asparagus. So that's what we have growing so far. Okay, now we'll get started with the beets. So this year I'm going to grow a couple of different varieties of beets. I'm gonna grow some golden beets. I grew this last year and then canned it up into just regular beets. I really enjoy them. I like beets. I love them roasted. They're and pickled. Oh, pickled beets is my favorite. So we're just going to do a couple of these varieties and then some of these. As you can see, I kind of get my seeds from everywhere. I just look to see different varieties that I like. Not every place has the same variety, but I'm definitely finding that MI Gardener is one of my favorite seed places. His seeds are a really, really good price, so I really like purchasing from him. Plus he's a wealth of knowledge, and I love people that are very passionate about gardening, and so I like to be able to support him. So a lot of my seeds you will see will be MI Gardener seeds. And I can leave his link in the video description for you guys for his shop. He actually has an app now where you can order seeds from. which is not the best thing for me. I had to actually delete the app because I said I have enough seeds right now. I don't need any more, so I had to get it off my phone, so I stopped ordering seeds. I'm not getting any more seeds in though. I got my last seed delivery last week. So the other type of beet we're gonna try to grow is this sugar beet. Hopefully it's focusing on that and not on me. This I've never grown before. I tried to do it in the fall last year and it was too late in the game and nothing came up. But this I'm trying to grow as kind of like a sweet replacement. I unfortunately don't have honeybees. I really want honeybees, but they are very, very expensive to do. I have zero experience with it. And honestly, right now, I don't think my mental capacity could handle taking on another project like that. So honeybees, I would love to have, but I don't have them. So I don't really have like a sugar source. So we're gonna try to grow these and see if we can do something like that and see if we can use these as like a sweetener. Experiment, that's gonna be my experiment this year. And then broccoli, I am going to be growing 2 different varieties this year. I'm going to be growing this and this one. So I actually need to get these started pretty soon. Today is like 62 outside. I'll leave the Celsius below so the guys that are in Celsius will know what 62 is. But today is supposed to be 62 outside and I'm really like, do I put my radishes out already? But I'm like, no, because we're supposed to get another cold snap at the end of February. So I guess this would officially be like our first false spring this week. I don't know. I am going to be doing Brussels sprouts, but I'm actually not going to be doing them until the fall. I don't start them in the spring here because we go from like kind of colder weather to all of a sudden like full heat and humidity. So Brussels sprouts don't do really well here in the spring. So that'll be a fall project that I have. So for cabbages this year, I am going to be growing a couple of different varieties. I am going to be growing this. I love to have this in stir fries, so I'm going to do a couple of these. And then this one right here, this actually does pretty good. When it comes to cabbage moss, they annihilate my stuff. We have really bad cabbage moss or cabbage worms, whatever you want to call them. They're really bad here. I found that last spring, I kind of did a comparison. I planted this variety, which I'm going to be doing again this year, but I planted this and I put it beside this. This one did extremely well and hardly got eaten at all. This one was like disintegrated. It looked like lace. So they don't gravitate towards this color very much. But it was funny though, because in the fall, I planted these 2 again, and this one, it didn't matter. The cabbage worms completely disintegrated this one as well. So those are the 2 varieties I'm gonna grow. And then we're also going to actually try, I'm hoping it's picking up. We're gonna try this variety also. I don't eat a lot of cabbage. I do love sauerkraut, so I'm hoping to be able to get enough that I can make some sauerkraut. But we're gonna just do a couple of those, not too much again, because we don't really eat a lot of cabbage. I love it, but Steven's not a fan of it, so I can't put it into a lot of recipes. If I had my way, we would have cabbage like all the time, but he doesn't like it, so I'm not gonna grow too much of it because honestly, I can't eat that much. The other thing that I'm gonna try this year is to really focus on doing carrots. Carrots in here in the spring, again, that's kind of like a fall crop for here because what happens again, we go from cold to really hot all of a sudden. So I'm gonna try to put in a couple of spring carrots, but most likely majority of my carrots are gonna be grown in the fall. So I'm gonna try this variety. It is supposed to do really well in hard clay soil. We do not have the best soil here. We have clay soil. I'm working on slowly getting amended. I'm in my 5th year gardening in certain garden beds and certain garden spots, but the majority, I keep adding to my garden. So every year I have new plots of brand new soil, and that soil is just clay, like really thick clay. And it's not even like a good healthy clay. It is like completely nutrient deficient clay. It's just gray clay. It's not good. So I have to do a lot of amending to certain spots, but these carrots say they do well in clay, so we'll try it. And then I've grown this variety before, so we're gonna try a little bit of those. And that's it for the carrots. Okay, and then cauliflower. I'm so excited about this kind. This is gonna be a new kind for me this year. This looked so interesting and I thought, let's just give it a try and see how it is. So we're gonna experiment with this variety this year, and then we are going to do a couple of these and a couple of these. I don't have a really big garden, and cauliflowers tend to grow really, really big, so they need quite a bit of space. So I usually only end up planting about 6 to 8 cauliflowers and 6 to 8 broccolis, and usually like 4, maybe 5 at the most cabbages. That's what I have a space for, so that's kind of what I do. But we are very blessed in this area where I can do a fall garden, or excuse me, I can do a spring garden of broccoli and cauliflower, and I can also do a fall garden. So I can get 2 crops essentially out of it, which is perfect because I don't have a lot of gardening space. So those are gonna be our cauliflowers that we're gonna do, and same with the broccoli. I need to get those started pretty soon. And then for celery, I'm gonna do a couple of these. This is a variety I grew last year, and it was, I made the mistake and I didn't water them enough. Celery needs a lot of water. So I'm gonna try to grow them in a different garden bed this year, one that gets way more water and I can get at it easily with the hose. That's the other thing, I don't have water run out to my garden, so I literally have to take 200 feet worth of hose and drag it out to my garden and water. So sometimes I don't have the energy to go and do that. So sometimes stuff suffers. Celery was one of them. But I did some research and found this variety. So we're gonna try a bed of this and a bed of this, and we're gonna see which celery works best for me. I'm hoping that this one does a little bit better because I really wanna master this celery. I have yet to master it, and maybe this year will be the celery year. And then for kale this year, we are going to grow some Black Magic kale. I'm looking forward to this. This sounds really, really good. This is my favorite kale right here, so we're gonna grow some of this. Now the Black Magic's description said that it's kind of like this kale, but a little bit sweeter, more mild tasting. So Stephen might like this because Stephen's favorite variety is this one. So we're also gonna grow this year. And then we're gonna do a little bit of this, going a little fast there, this one. We love kale, like love kale. We eat a lot of it, like a lot. I almost try to get it in every single meal because it's so easy to incorporate and it's just delicious. So we like to have a lot of kale growing in our garden. And then I'm gonna try to get a lot in the spring and then preserve some of it, just throw it in the freezer. That way during the hot summer when it just goes to seed, at least I'll have some preserved in the freezer, and then I can get another fall crop going. And then we do love kohlrabi. It's so delicious. The way I describe kohlrabi is it's kind of like a broccoli stem. It's got a cabbage, broccoli taste to it. I love it. It's so delicious, especially steamed with a little bit of melted butter on it and salt and pepper. It's delicious. So we're gonna grow this variety, and then we're gonna grow this variety. The sparkle stuff that you see is just tape that I have to close my things because the seeds fall out really easy. So I just use that tape to keep my seeds from falling out. So one of my favorite things to grow is lettuce. Like I love lettuce. I love pretty much everything. There is really not a vegetable that I hate. I cannot think of one vegetable right now that I don't like. I love them all. Like I really do love them all. So gardening to me is just like, I just have like all of the vegetables. I love it. So we're into the lettuce section now. So I got this variety. I'm actually gonna go and put some of this in pots today and try to grow some of this in my little tiny greenhouse. I have an unheated, uncooled greenhouse. It's just a little greenhouse that Stephen actually built for me. And so we're gonna put some of these in pots and we're gonna try to see if we can get them started. This description says it can grow in temperatures as low as 5 Fahrenheit without being like phased. So this is gonna be kind of my winter lettuce. I'm excited about it. So we're gonna get some of that started today. This is one of the free things that I got from Baker's Creek this order, and I'm excited about it. It says it's kind of like a romaine lettuce, so we're gonna try that. And then we got some slow bolt arugula because it gets so hot here so quickly, it bolts really quick. So I'm gonna try to get some of this started also. And then I have the regular arugula, but we're gonna try the slow boat this year and see if we can do it. I'm on a whole bunch of Facebook gardening groups. It's really, really good tool to use to find gardeners that are in your local area, to find things that work really, really well for them. Somebody suggested that this particular lettuce variety, it is a black seeded Simpson lettuce. They said that in my area, so South Central Kentucky, it does really, really well. So we're gonna try to grow this variety. They said it tastes really well also. So we'll try that one. This one is one of my favorite lettuces to grow. It tastes delicious. Not only does it taste delicious, but it is so pretty. The leaves are just like this speckled color. It's really, really, really pretty. It's almost like you could use it as like a, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like ornament gardening, you know, where you just, I don't know, landscaping. That's the word I'm looking for. You could use this in landscape gardening. It's really, really pretty, but it tastes really, really delicious. It's like a butterhead lettuce. So good. And then I just have a couple of different seed packets here. This is what I'm saying, when the Amish greenhouses open up, they sell seeds. And again, these are seeds that are good in my area, so I tend to pick up some seeds there. These are some lettuce seeds that I got there. This is a salad bowl green leaf, loose leaf lettuce. And like this is why I buy from the Amish. Can you see that price? This bag was full and it was $1.60. Amazing. And then this one, I think I paid 70 cents for this bag. And it was full when I got it. So this is a butterhead lettuce. So I like to get some seeds from them. And then I'm just gonna be doing the regular romaine lettuce because I love doing like lettuce wraps. So we'll do these two varieties. I also have this variety that does well here too. So we'll grow some of that. And then I have some slow bolt lettuce. I tried this last year. It still went to seed. I mean, it really needs to be like really, really slow bolt here because even this stuff went to seed pretty quickly. So we're gonna put a little bit of this in and then, you know, just like the regular lettuces. So what I do when I plant my lettuce, like, I mean, I have a whole bunch of lettuce varieties, but what I do when I plant my lettuces is I like just to do one row of one variety, another row of another variety, and I just do like little tiny rows of all different lettuce. And I usually like to just come and just cut them when they're really little, with the exception of the romaine lettuce. The romaine lettuce, I like to have big romaine heads, just good for Caesar salads and stuff like that. And like I said, the wraps. But most of them, my lettuce, I just kind of cut when they're little, and we have like baby lettuce. We really like that type of salads. So I plant a lot of different varieties so that we can have like a variety salad. So spinach this year, I am gonna try to do this again. It does not do well for me at all here because again, hot. But we're gonna try to do some of this. I'm gonna try to do some in the spring and then maybe we'll get some in the fall. Now the one variety I actually found that did extremely well in this area, and last year I showed a little bit on my videos of what it looked like when it was like in full bloom in the dead heat of August. Like it was hot, like 100-degree days hot. This stuff was just kicking. This does amazing in my area. I asked Steven, do you want me to grow it again this year? Because it was kind of nice having like some greenery in the dead of summer. But Malabar spinach has a taste to it. It's like spinach, but it has like almost like a slimy aftertaste to it. It's good in a pinch, but it wasn't our favorite. So I don't know if I want to dedicate a whole arch trellis to it because it is a vining thing. It will vine up. It covered my whole trellis. I'm gonna insert a photo of it there for you guys, but it covered my whole trellis and it's good chicken food. Like the chickens also liked it, but we weren't fans of it. So I don't think I wanna devote a whole trellis to it. I have some Swiss chard seeds, but honestly, I'm not gonna do Swiss chard. We are not super fans of it. We like kale, which is kind of similar to it. So I'm not gonna devote any space to Swiss chard this year. Now, peas are one of my favorite things to grow. I love them. They do really well here in the spring. So I have a whole bunch of different pea varieties, and we're gonna get these started in March. So stay tuned for that. But we're gonna do this variety. And then we are going to do some of this variety. And then some of this variety. And then also some snap peas. These are really, really good. So for the peas, I think what I'm gonna do this year is I still have my tomato trellises up. I never ended up taking them down last year. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all my peas on my tomato trellises, because by the time the peas are phasing out, the tomatoes will be kind of starting to grow a little bit. So I'm gonna try to interplant those two crops. They apparently do okay together. I have a little list of things that grow really well together. I can see if I can potentially screenshot it and put it in here for you guys. It is really, really good to deciding what grows well together and what doesn't grow well together. And I think peas and tomatoes were one that were good together. So those will go there. And then, like I said, we're gonna actually get our radishes started really soon. So this year for radishes, I'm gonna grow this variety. I'm gonna go grow some French breakfast. I really like these ones. And then some watermelon. And then this one is called Pink Beauty. It's just another kind of like this variety. So we're gonna get those in the ground. I think I start those at the end of February. I think that's what I did last year, and they turned out really, really good. And then we are also going to get some turnips put in. I love turnips. Turnips are so good in a stew. You can put them in with like potatoes, carrots, and turnips. It just makes the best stew ever. So that is everything that is in my spring box. So we're done that box. So let's get to the fun garden, which is the summer garden. That's my favorite because I get to grow pumpkins, watermelon, and tomatoes, which are like some of my favorite things. So we'll get to that one. Hey guys, I am gonna end this video right here. And the reason why is because I started editing this video and I realized that it is like so over an hour. And I don't want to bore you guys with all of these seeds. I mean, I do love talking about seeds, but I am going to end up splitting this video into a part 1, which you just watched, and a part 2, which will be coming up in a couple of days. So you guys are gonna get an added bonus. You're gonna get a couple of videos this week, part 1 and part 2. I just don't wanna have one huge long video for you, just in case, you know, you have other things to do. Which you probably do. So that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed part 1, my spring garden. And you know what? I actually have already been outside and started some of those seeds. The other thing that I didn't mention in this video, but I do mention it actually on my second part of the video, I didn't go through any flowers or herbs that I am starting, just because that again would be part 3 of the video. It would make it really, really, really long. So I didn't go over it, but I did seed start some of my more hardier herbs, like my rosemary. What else did I get started? I got some couple of flowers started, like my petunias, my pansies. All of those can tolerate pretty cold weather. I got some more sage started also, but I didn't go over any of that even in the second part, just because again, it would be really long. I just grow my basic herbs. So if you want to see part 3, let me know in the comments, and then I could potentially film a part 3 for you guys, and just letting you know what flowers I'm going to be growing, because I grow a whole bunch of flowers, and what herbs I do, because I like to grow all of my medicinal herbs also. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.